Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Daphne jumps on Carter as Ridge has to decide between Taylor and Brooke. According to Wednesday, March 26 spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne Rose will attack Carter Walton, while Ridge Forrester will have to decide between Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan. Now that Brooke has informed Ridge of one important fact, Ridge will have to make a decision at Forrester Creations. Ridge must choose who he wants to spend the rest of his life with because he cannot have both Brooke and Taylor. Of course, the idea that Ridge will truly live out the rest of his life with the decision he makes is absurd. On Wednesday's B&B episode, Ridge will choose a woman, but that's just not his style. To be honest, Ridge doesn't appear all that moved by Brooke's cries for them to regain what they've lost. On some level, Ridge will always love Brooke, but he's stuck on her treachery and has now recommitted to Taylor. It appears that Ridge will maintain that Taylor is the one he wants to be with in light of everything mentioned above. While Taylor rejoices in capturing Ridge's affection, at least temporarily, Brooke might experience the agonizing pain of rejection. According to other teasers for Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne will attack Carter and Hope he's prepared to let go of Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Carter would be feeling quite depressed as he briefs Daphne on the situation because Hope stated that their relationship was ended. Regardless of Hope's feelings, Daphne will reassure Carter that he made the correct decision in restoring Forrester control. Now that Carter is not influenced by Hope, Daphne will foretell that he will have a bright future. Daphne would probably give Carter another kiss after telling him that he deserves more than Hope. It seems likely that they will wind up in another lip lock because B&B spoilers suggest that Daphne will make a love move at Carter. Carter should value Daphne's support regardless of whether he's prepared to move on. Stay tuned as Daphne tries to convince Carter to join her in seeing a way forward. I'm excited to take a walk on the dark side. Hope Logan lost her life as she knew it on Bold and the Beautiful after she fired Carter Walton and had her job on the CBS serial opera snatched away from her. The only person she could dependably rely on now betrays her. The mother of Brooke Logan is tired of her daughter. As a result, Hope's support system gauge is almost completely empty. With just her father remaining to provide the solace she requires, the Logan daughter is currently in a very precarious situation. However, a double dosage of evil festers in Deacon Sharp's renowned restaurant on the opposite side of town, where ominous clouds brew. Predictions for Bold and the Beautiful. I hope Logan ends up at Deacon Sharp's place. According to teasers for Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan is searching for Deacon Sharp as her world falls apart. However, Deacon is unaware that there is something malevolent going on in his house. Luna Nozawa is Sheila Carter's grandchild, she recently learned. However, Luna is Deacon's biggest opponent because he killed two of his close pals. Hope Logan, Bold and the Beautiful. Deacon will therefore probably have a hard time accepting this news from Sheila. And then there's Finn, who wants to be this double killer's father. However, his wife presents a significant obstacle to that happening on Bold and Beautiful thus far. Though he puts on a good front for Steffi Forrester, there are clues that he may eventually attempt to become the father he believes he should have been to Luna from the beginning. Finn will therefore probably attempt to make up for lost time. And a sympathetic Hope Logan, who already has a thing for the excellent doctor, enters. B&B forecast, Finn cannot ignore his fatherly responsibilities. Steffi's position on Luna has already been made apparent in Bold and the Beautiful. Therefore, even though Steffi has forbidden Finn from contacting Luna, he is unlikely to comply with her requests. He did his best, though, only recently. Finn's new father-daughter bond probably starts behind Steffi's back as his conscience weighs on him. For Hope Logan, who barely survives to exact revenge on Steffi for all she endured at FC, the stars and planets align. Hope probably helps Finn grasp what it means to be a father to Luna, something Steffi wouldn't. Therefore, Hope Logan will have a rout if Finn's marriage breaks down. Hope then has the opportunity to meet the man she once called the ideal husband. She made sure to convince Steffi that Finn was the ideal man back on Bold and the Beautiful. Furthermore, if Hope were to eventually land Finn, Steffi would be torn to pieces. As the conflict between Forrester and Logan continues, this would also give Hope Logan a boost. Predictions for Bold and the Beautiful. Hope finds Finn again. Il Giardino is the most likely location for Hope and Finn to cross paths on Bold and Beautiful. They will probably run into each other there because the spoilers indicate that Hope will be there frequently in future episodes. They would begin discussing their personal issues with one another if they did. Hey, as they say, sorrow enjoys company. The intimate friendship they once shared may therefore be revived as a result of this. Although Hope is not Sheila's best friend, she does put up with her father's wife when she goes to see him. When Finn expressed interest in a relationship with his birth mother, Hope was once again accepting. Hope believed that he ought to pursue it. Naturally, Steffi prevailed in that round, but the fight isn't finished yet. Eventually, Finn caved in and avoided his clumsy mother, still with Sheila. Brooke picks a man instead of her daughter. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, even fans anticipated this would happen sooner rather than later. Since every indication suggests that Brooke Logan chose a man above her own daughter, it goes without saying that we are discussing her. We've been here before, haven't we? As many fans of B&B have likely already seen, Brooke Logan is prepared to expose her daughter Hope Logan in order to further her sporadic relationship with Ridge Forrester. But at this point, is it really worth it? While Brooke blames her daughter Hope for all the problems at Forrester Creations, Ridge is attempting to choose between Brooke and Taylor Hayes. How could a mother possibly do that? As our readers are aware, there was a lot of discussion about the issue on the internet. On social media, some people have said, Ridge selects again? Taylor and Brooke are not at all feminine role models and are incredibly weak. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. What will happen to Brooke Logan next? Believe me when I say that I do not have the time to waste on a show like Bold and the Beautiful, commented another fan. The fact that they recruited this awful actor from One Life to Live who used to read the poem Brown Penny tells me everything I need to know about this fucking show, even though life is far too short. Additionally, this comment was made, I'm sick of Ridge and Brooke arguing. If Brooke and Ridge are going back together, make sure they stay together forever. Regarding Taylor's permanent retirement. Taylor's replacement, Tyler Hunter, has been offered. Brooke provides Hope with the hard love she sorely needs. Hope Logan's life is falling apart, and for the first time, her mother is refusing to listen to her sobs. With Hope's marriage to Liam Spencer failing and her subsequent poor choices, she has been in some kind of crisis for the past few years, and Brooke Logan has always been there to assist her get back on her feet. So far. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. The corporate coup has ended, and the only thing left to defend it is hope. Carter Walton deceived the Forresters a few months earlier into signing documents that allowed him to take over Forrester Creations through an LLC. In order to transform the business into a worldwide luxury brand, he and Hope set out to alter the world. Carter's conscience continued to torment him even as they revived a jewelry business and had Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, develop a distinctive fragrance. For lying to the family that had always treated him like a member, he felt like a traitor. Hope encouraged him at every turn and insisted that he was a decent man despite his dishonest choices. His judgment was occasionally impaired by his relationship with her and the resulting loyalty to her. Everyone save Hope was pleased when Carter finally realized his mistake and turned over Forrester Creations to its proper owners. Everyone could see how uncomfortable and guilty Carter was now. Hope continued to wear her blinders despite the fact that Brooke and Daphne had both called him out on it and gently urged him to do the right thing. Hope simply didn't want to hear it, even when he tried to talk to her about his feelings. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Not even Brooke is standing by Hope's side. After a discussion, the Forresters opted to keep Carter and Brooke working, although it is not surprising that Hope is unemployed. She handled her termination as poorly as anticipated and went on to verbally abuse Ridge, Eric, and Steffi Forrester. Hope was still experiencing some power issues after assisting with the company's operations for a few months, and she expected Carter and her mother to support her. Rather, Brooke is appalled by her daughter's actions, and Carter is remaining with the company. Hope genuinely thought her mother would sympathize with her and be there for her, but she is shocked by how uninformed she has become. Hope used to be admired for her purity, generosity, and sincere goodness, but it appears that she has now forgotten these qualities. Brooke is upset with Hope, and she feels completely shaken by her sudden outburst. When Carter returns Forrester creations to the family, Hope fans criticize her for failing to protect her fashion line. Following Carter's decision to stand with the Forresters over Hope, many viewers of The Bold and the Beautiful feel that he betrayed her. See what people are saying about this dramatic split and if Hope and Thomas will get back together. Fans are devastated by the shocking betrayal of the character. Fans are furious that Legal Eagle betrays Hope without defending her fashion line. After Carter Walton committed what many are referring to as the betrayal of the century, the Hope Logan fanbase is in complete disarray. The ostensibly clever lawyer gave Forrester creations back to the Forrester family without obtaining even a single safeguard for Hope Logan's fashion line, a move that leaves longtime watchers gasping. What on earth was he thinking? Expert stupidity or legal malpractice? Fans are completely baffled by Carter's egregious inability to legally defend Hope for the future before returning the business to the Forresters, despite the fact that he is purportedly FC's legal whiz. One angry viewer said, "He's not very smart for a lawyer, and really?" I wholeheartedly concur. How could Carter have imagined that the second that Hope recovered control, Steffi Forrester wouldn't go straight after her line? Was he living in a vacuum? The rivalry between Hope and Steffi is legendary. You get everything in writing, especially when dealing with sworn foes, as any first-year law student knows. The best relationship ever. But hold on, things get worse. Much worse. Before making this decision that would change the company and ruin Hope's career, Carter didn't even have the grace to talk to her about it. He arbitrarily decided Hope's career fate without even sending a text message warning, even though they were romantically involved and partners in their takeover plan. One admirer pointed out that he ought to have talked to Hope about returning the business to the Forresters first. This lack of communication is relationship suicide, not just poor relationship etiquette. Consider it. If your partner made a choice that destroyed your career without even telling you, how would you feel? Insult to injury added. Just when you thought there was no way this treachery could get any worse. Carter chose to remain at Forrester Creations instead of walking out in support of Hope when she snubbed her. How about putting comfort ahead of loyalty? Another fan made the completely correct observation that he should have known Hope would be livid that he opted to stay at FC instead of defending her or walking out in solidarity. Through his actions, Carter effectively communicated to Hope that our relationship isn't important enough for me to stand by you, and your career isn't important enough for me to protect in writing. A quicksand-based relationship. For a moment, let's be honest. This sequence of events doesn't exactly surprise some observers. After all, the Hope and Carter romance started in the midst of corporate takeover plots, intrigue, and secrecy, not exactly the kind of stable basis for enduring love that soap opera fantasies are made of. One fan was very open about the connection, saying, "I'm not exactly heartbroken that it's over because this relationship was a farce to begin with." There is some truth to that, I must admit. There was definitely chemistry between them, but trust? Not so much, apparently. Steffi and Carter pull away, Hope and Finn get closer. Hope Logan and Finn Finnegan may be on the verge of a forbidden relationship in a startling development on The Bold and the Beautiful. With Finn's marriage to Steffi on rocky ground after it was revealed that he is Luna's father and Hope's relationship with Carter deteriorating after their failed takeover plan, these two wounded souls could find solace in each other's embrace. The unexpected partnership that could revolutionize B&B's core is Hope and Finn. Will these two get closer than anyone anticipated due to personal turmoil? Fans of Bold and Beautiful are aware that opportunity arises from upheaval, and the current situation is ideal for what may turn out to be one of the most contentious pairings in the history of the show. Hope Logan and Finn Finnegan may find themselves drawn to one another in ways that would rock Los Angeles as Hope Logan struggles with Carter Walton's betrayal and Finn Finnegan discovers he is Luna Nozawa's biological father. Developing new possibilities through stumbling relationships. After their failed attempt to take over Forrester Creations in early 2025, Hope and Carter's alliance is in jeopardy. When Hope confronted Carter and expressed her deep disappointment, saying, "I trusted you, and you let me down," their trust was broken. This emotional wound has left Hope vulnerable and may be leading her to seek solace elsewhere. Meanwhile, the news that he fathered Luna years ago has wrecked Finn's entire existence. Considering Luna's history of frightening her family, including that horrific kidnapping, Steffi Forrester is finding it difficult to comprehend this shocking revelation. The ideal environment for marital disagreement is created when Finn is forced to choose between accepting his new daughter and standing by his wife. The spark that was always there. Remember that Hope and Finn have a complex past together. When Hope's marriage to Liam Spencer ended in 2023, she turned to Finn as a confidant. When Hope impulsively kissed him, their friendship took a drastic turn, causing a great deal of friction with Steffi. That chemistry didn't just go away. It waited for the ideal conditions to maybe rekindle, simmering beneath the surface. Given that they are currently dealing with significant personal issues, their past bond may serve as the basis for a more meaningful relationship. Carter and Hope, a risky partnership. Hope and Carter's trust issues persist despite early efforts to mend their relationship. Hope accused Carter of putting his goals ahead of their relationship in a particularly heated exchange, saying, "You chose power over us." Although this rift may not end their relationship right away, it has given Hope enough room to look for understanding elsewhere, and Finn has shown himself to be a trustworthy confidant in the past. When family loyalties collide, Steffi and Finn. The difficulties in Finn's marriage are even more severe. Finn's increasing need to bond with his kid is in direct opposition to Steffi's understandable trauma from Luna's acts. Finn is torn between his parental instincts and his wife's suffering, and the tension is evident. Finn would feel alone and in need of someone who can relate to family issues, and who could be more suitable than Hope, who has dealt with her fair share of familial drama, given the reports that Steffi might briefly leave town, perhaps due to Jacqueline McInnes Wood's maternity leave. A forbidden romance's path. This possible change has been hinted at in recent episodes. Hope has grown to be Finn's main source of emotional support during his family's struggle. She reassured him, "You don't have to go through this alone," in one particularly striking moment. Their shared vulnerability and their undeniable prior chemistry made a deeper connection not only plausible, but possibly inevitable. Though its duration would probably depend on Steffi's eventual return, this may play out as a traditional soap opera twist. Two friends discover unexpected love in the middle of personal turmoil. Fire fueling key players. Hope and Finn might unintentionally be pushed together by a number of characters. Hope's father and Sheila's partner, Deacon Sharp, may see this growing bond as good for family unity. He may have approved of such a pairing when he recently told Hope, "Find someone who gets you, kiddo." In an attempt to change the dynamics of the family to her advantage, Luna Nozawa, who has her own grudge against Steffi, would encourage her father's developing relationship with Hope. After years of estrangement, Poppy Nozawa was keen to re-establish family ties and saw Hope as a beneficial influence on her daughters and Finn's lives. Which of Hope's 4 romantic options will she pick? Which of Hope Logan's 4 love options, as revealed by spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, will she pick? Since Hope is at a turning point in her life, let's discuss who she might choose and what her future holds. 1. Make amends with Carter. The first possibility is that Hope and Carter Walton could be able to resolve their differences. Hope attempted to push Carter away and say goodbye, but perhaps once she calms down, they will still have a chance at happiness. Daphne Rose is undoubtedly attractive to Carter, but she is keeping her scheme with Steffi Forrester a secret. Perhaps Hope and Carter will still end up together after all the storms pass because it could ruin Daphne and Carter's own love prospects. 2. Get Liam back together. Since they co-parent Beth Spencer and have a history that will always strengthen their relationship, Liam Spencer might be Hope's alternative love choice. Fans of B&B will remember that Liam had previously made an attempt to get Hope back, but she had turned him down. Now that Hope is feeling vulnerable and crushed, things might change, and maybe Liam's consolation will result in a future reconciliation. Hope may ultimately give Liam another chance despite his prior disappointments, since she will be yearning for love and connection. 3. Try to win Finn over again. We should also think about the likelihood that Hope may perform for John Finnegan once more in the upcoming months. Hope might try to take Finn for herself in an attempt to exact revenge on Steffi. Hope might go for Finn again and hope for better luck, even though her previous attempt ended in a crash and burn. 4. Accept being single for a while. Of fact, accepting being single for a while might be Hope's greatest romantic conclusion. Before she does anything else, Hope should take some time to reflect and work on her healing. Hope needs to take a short vacation from her romantic life and perhaps seek some therapy, even though she doesn't typically spend much time alone. Stay in for updates on any additional love news, as spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Hope will need to make some predictions about her future chapter and take action. What can we hope for future? What will happen to our betrayed heroine now that Carter is displaying his true colors, and they are not pretty? Given that astute watchers have observed that she continues to wear Thomas Forrester's ring, some fans are already conjecturing about a possible reunion. Hello, unresolved feelings. Some have proposed more imaginative avenues, such as Hope launching her own fashion label to take on Forrester head-to-head. Just think of the drama that would ensue. I'm up for it. There is little doubt that Hope deserves so much better than a spouse who would neglect to safeguard her interests during such a critical time. Carter's reputation, both personally and professionally, might never fully bounce back from this monumental disaster. As one fan stated, "It's just a shame that Carter destroyed himself in the process." The silver lining in real life. There is one silver lining for fans in the midst of all this on-screen treachery and heartache. In a recent viral dance movement, Hope and Carter's actors, Annika Noel and Lawrence St. Victor, demonstrated their endearing camaraderie off-screen. Seeing their pleasant chemistry in the midst of all this made-up drama is truly nice. And with remarks like "I love y'all for this," the fans are gushing about it. Saturating social media. What are your thoughts? Could Carter's treachery not be forgiven? Was it appropriate for him to leave FC in support of Hope? Or do you believe that this narrative is more complex than it first appears? Leave a comment below. What do you think of the most recent shocking betrayal in soap operas? Hope bids Carter farewell as Brooke gives Ridge a kiss. Brooke Logan stood inches from Ridge Forrester, their attraction as strong as it had been decades before, as the golden tones of a Los Angeles sunset filled the Forrester estate patio with a warm, almost otherworldly glow. For a brief moment, the years of treachery, Taylor's shadow, and their never-ending battles over destiny vanished as his cologne, a well-known combination of sandalwood and defiance, filled her senses. Ridge muttered, "This isn't smart," in a harsh, restrained voice, but Brooke's fingers clenched into his jacket's lapels while her eyes remained uncompromising. "When did we become intelligent?" she muttered, bringing them closer with a kiss that tasted of recklessness and remembrance. It began gently, a cautious rekindling of embers that they had both vowed were ash, and then grew stronger with a need that exposed the deception. As though to erase the years and the distance between them, Ridge's hands gripped her waist and drew her in. The ghosts of their past, however, continued to haunt them even as they lost themselves in the present, Ridge's constant hesitation, Brooke's fears, and Taylor's accusations. Brooke's eyes glistened with unshed tears as they split apart, both of them flushed and breathless. With her vulnerabilities exposed, she begged, "Tell me this means something." Ridge paused, his thumb grazing her face, a motion that seemed like a prelude to saying goodbye but had once promised forever. His deflection went deeper than rejection when he said, "It means, we're still us." Regaining her pride, Brooke took a step back. She turned aside before he could witness her heart breaking again, saying, "Then us will never be enough." As Hope confronted Carter Walton, the rain pelted her cottage's windows across town, reflecting the storm in her breast. Now there in her doorway, his fitted suit rumpled, his eyes haunted by remorse, was the man who had once been her confidant and her escape from the Logan Forrester circus. His voice cracked as he said, "You don't have to do this." With her resolve solidifying like armor, Hope shook her head and said, "We can fix this, fix us." Her mind was ablaze with memories of his treachery, including the leaked pictures, the blackmail, and the way he had used her confidence as leverage to elevate Steffi. Despite the pain in her voice, she answered steadily, "Carter, there's nothing left to fix." My heart wasn't just broken by you. You caused me to question who I am. Carter recoiled as the truth of her statement hit him like a ton of bricks. And I'm done letting other people define my worth. She pulled away as he grabbed for her hand, her eyes unblinking. With a hint of desperation, he muttered, I loved you. She said, but love shouldn't destroy people. As Hope opened the door, the rain outside had subsided to a drizzle and the clouds were being broken by the faint sunlight. Goodbye, Carter. He lingered, looking for a glimmer of uncertainty on her face, but all he saw was quiet strength. Hope leaned against the door as it closed, her breath trembling with freedom rather than sadness.